I feel like a wrestler with his theme song when that shit goes. It just make you want to go crazy. I love this shit, man. Welcome to more.
Wait. So just know, ladies and gentlemen, once we make an announcement to say that the show is no longer happening, that's because Cuzzo decided to spend the last bit of the budget on pyrotechnics, thinking that he's in the WWE when the show starts, and set fire to the apartment. The pyrotechnics going off in the apartment, and we might have the grand opening, grand closing. At
least we did it. I don't care, you know what I'm saying? But welcome to More Than the Title. You know what it is, episode 242. We've been out here partying. I'm your host as usual, Jarrett, Chief Revenue Officer at Outside the Box Digital. And of course, I got my brother, my brethren, your favorite CEO, Cuzzo. What's the vibes, baby?
Hey man, I'm feeling energized today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
you know, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. And why not? It is Tuesday, first of our 2 favorite days of the week, Paw Day. Hey, we get to do what we love, man. So I'm feeling good. And I'm gonna say it ahead of time because we're batting 1,000. We like LA right now, back to back. You understand? We like LA right now. Unfortunately, Cuzzo got on the Yankee hat, but we like LA right now. You know what I'm saying? Championship after championship. Another phenomenal guest is going to come on right now. We already got guests coming in on the stream. We already got Doug talking about Reema. Let's go. See, everybody already know Doug. Shout out to Doug, back to back. He already know. Another phenomenal guest. This lady's going to come on and drop some gems. I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss it. Get ready to download it. Get ready to share it with your friends. Like, comment, subscribe. Now, I like it. All right, so you know we like to start the show. G&T, grateful and thankful. Listen, really quickly, I want to send a huge shout out to our guy, Paul Arrington and the family. Shout out to Tori, shout out to Doug. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot be where we are and do the things that we do without individuals like we just named, by just being 10 toes down, doing exactly what they say they were going to do, constantly showing up, constantly showing support, and just constantly, you know, trying to see what can be done to help us out, take this thing to the next level. We are truly appreciative of you guys. We don't take you guys for granted. And man, we just wish that we had more like you, but we're grateful for the ones that we have. So G&T to those 3 people that we named. We got a lot of big things in store for you guys. The show is about to get a big revamp. We got a lot of big things in store for you guys. So stay tuned. We're working, growing and glowing, like Cuzzo say. I'm excited. Let's get this thing going, Cuz.
Let's get it rocking.
Let's start the show.
Let's get it rocking. So first of all, let me tell you, we've met this sister a bunch of times. We met her down at the Art of Storytelling. We've had some great times. You know what I'm saying? She's just been always somebody, like you said about Doug and everybody, somebody who's always held it down, always the same person you see every time you see her. And now we're honored to have her on the show. So for the first time listeners, welcome to the show. This is More Than the Title, where we go beyond the titles and the job titles and all that stuff. We want the real. I want to know exactly how you get to what you got to and really what the mindset is to get to what we want to get to. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do. There's no fluff here. And today is no different. Yeah. So she's a visionary leader and a program manager who's helped shape the future of inclusive programming and talent development in the creative industry. She currently serves as the emerging talent inclusive programming lead at Netflix, where she oversees the Access program, helping underrepresented creatives gain the tools and confidence to thrive in their careers. Before that, she served as creative planning and global inclusion lead at Netflix, advancing equity and representation in storytelling around the world. Her passion for building equitable creative spaces run deep from a time as VP at the 4A's Foundation, where she led initiatives to expand access and opportunity in advertising. So you've seen her. You've seen her at We All Rise.
Boom.
You guys have seen at the Art of Storytelling. Y'all see her in the rooms with the big N on it. You see her at Netflix holding it down, making sure everybody has opportunity. Let's introduce our sister, Miss Reema Elghossain, y'all.
I like it.
It's great to be here. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And it's always weird to like hear your history being read to you, you know, but it's pretty cool.
You gotta enjoy it step by step. That's what we're learning that as we go now. Sometimes it'll be so much next thing, you know how that goes.
Yeah,
yeah. Appreciate you.
Same. I mean, it's the feeling's mutual. Like every time I see you all, you're just spreading love, spreading consciousness, spreading joy, and like really amplifying people and voices. So I'm honored.
Love. So let's start from the beginning. You know how we normally like to start. We want to get to tell us a little about young Reema's life. Like, who are your early influences? Who helped shape come who you are?
Okay. we're starting from origin story. Okay, beginning. So
Again.
I'm a 43-year-old Lebanese American woman. So like I was born in Saudi Arabia, but I was raised in Jersey. So I'm a huge Jersey girl. I should have animal print on, but like so, that's like our our signature uniforms. But raised Jersey. I mean, influences is hard because I was raised Lebanese at home, and then like learned how to be American in school, right? And my parents like loved like American culture, and so I was just raised on like everything American pop. Like it could be Michael Jackson, it could be Madonna, it could be like just anything and everything American. They like love to embrace it as long as we make sure we like kept our Lebanese pride and like culture. And so that was like a lot of what has shaped me. It's like really like having those experiences of feeling not included and wanting to be included, and what does that mean and how does that look, and like maintaining who I am while at the same time just understanding like where I'm at. That was like a lot of what shaped me in my spaces.
I got a question though.
Okay.
We often talk about cultures and recognizing your identity within the culture, right? But now that you have grown up and you're a grown woman versus a child, if you look back and think about like the Lebanese culture versus like the American culture, are there so many differences that it's like that relevant to say like don't lose yourself in one culture? Because I mean like, because sometimes I feel like we put so much emphasis on the differences in the cultures that I don't think that we pay attention to the similarities in a lot of the cultures and the way that we act, and like the importance of what we hold as priority: family, right? Religion, education. Like, what can you talk about? Like, what are some of the differences that your mother might have meant when she's like, "Don't lose yourself in this culture," versus yours?
Yeah, I think there's a sense of pride of like knowing who you are and where you come from, right? I really do believe that we're spirits and bodies, and I believe that there's a reason I chose to be in this body with this lineage, with this DNA. And so I highly, like as an adult, have learned to respect and understand what they meant when they said like don't forget who you are in your culture, because like it's literally embedded in me, and I think there's a reason that I know this language and the music and the instruments and like everything, I'm learning how to read and write it now as an adult because I never learned that as a kid, and I'm like feeling more connected in that space. And the importance of like family, right? And so is it that different? No. And also yes, right? It's like it could have been small things. Like it could be funny. I can laugh about it now, but it could be like, oh, you want to go out on a Saturday? You just went out on a Friday. And I'm like, wait, what's the difference in understanding like certain freedoms? Family's really close. Sometimes you like stay together for a really long time, understanding the importance of that. But we're no different as far as like, we all love music. We all love, joys. We all love passions, we love our spaces. It's just remembering to like not lose that, but integrate it into the space. It is like what I've learned. I think when I was young, it was like one or the other, and that was really difficult. Now, like when I was a kid, I'm bringing pita bread and hummus to school, and people are like, what, the kids are like, what is that? Now they're all feeding their kids pita and hummus, right? So things have evolved and changed. But really it's just like, it isn't that much different. To me now, it's like, how do I integrate all of me in all those spaces? I think is a lot more important and feels a lot more authentic because I'm Lebanese and I'm American. And like, that is its own subculture in itself.
That's real. And what's some of the early game that your parents gave you? What's one of the gems that they stuck out to you? What's one that's like, you'll never forget?
Oh, one thing that I think has like shaped me a lot was like, there's just no linear path. Like when I hear a lot of people here, it's like you do this and then you go up here and then you go up here and you go here. I worked in so many different industries because there was no like linear path for me. It was just like, I just learned who I am and what I can do. And so what I know is like, I bring Reema to everything that I do, where I think a lot of things here was just like, here's the path that you go to. And like, that's how you stay. That really stuck in a lot for me as well too. Very entrepreneurial, like you don't, you can make your own way. You don't have to get stuck in any space. I think was a huge thing that my dad taught me for a long time. Like if you want to do something and it's not there yet, you can create it yourself. Stuck with me a lot for sure. And yeah, I think for my mom, it was a lot of pride, like just like always know who you are, be proud. And I didn't get it always at first, but now I totally understand.
That's right. But what do they do, if you don't mind me asking?
My dad was an entrepreneur. Like he owned
makes sense.
Yeah, real estate, but then just like a lot of small businesses. So like we were definitely like, stereotypical Middle Eastern, be like, we had a chicken shack, we had a little auto shop,
I like it.
Properties. They're very family business oriented. Like I was working at 10, in all of those places. And my mom was at home and she was a partner to my dad in a lot of his businesses. Like even he was the one that was like the front facing and like managing it. My mom was there every day, like taking care of it, making sure it was like operating well. And also she took care of all of us, home. And I'm telling you, best food in the world is Mona's Kitchen. I will tell you that.
So that I'm glad you said that, because that was my next question right there. I'm not gonna lie, I gotta give you a disclaimer. I hated hummus.
Okay.
I hated hummus for a very long time. You know why I hated it, Reema? Because I didn't know what the fuck it was. I'm like, what is you trying to get me to eat this putty paste? What is this, right? But I ain't gonna lie, right? I don't know the company. Walmart sells it. It comes in a little red jar and it has like hummus and it has like the chili hot hummus in the middle. I love it now. I give me some Tostitos and I love it. So now my next question would be like, okay, favorite dish, favorite Lebanese dish that you feel like you cannot, like, it doesn't matter. You cannot go without this dish. This has to be on the menu. What would that be?
I mean, it's funny because people will invite me to Middle Eastern places and it's hard because I will always compare it to my mother's.
Right.
And my mother's food, right? So her stuffed grape leaves, hands down, amazing. I don't think you've tasted real hummus yet, so I'll make you some just so you know, because that stuff at the store is not authentic. So I can see why you don't like it.
Got to water down.
I mean, I don't know.
Come on, man, the watered down shit.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get you the authentic, cuisine, right? But lots of lamb-based food is amazing.
I love lamb. That's my favorite. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah, lamb is great.
Oh, look at that. See, Reema, they said growth.
Yeah, there you go. In real time.
Lamb is my absolute favorite, Reema. I ain't gonna lie. Cuzzo knows. Anywhere we go, if you got a good chop or some mutton, that if I see it on the menu, 9 out of 10, I'm like, go for it. I don't want to see nothing else. Some good lamb is man.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of cultures, like everything is centered around the kitchen. So like the way we give love and the way we show love is like through food. So if I'm at an event or I'm hosting it, like there's going to be a lot of food there because I want to make sure our bellies are full when we go. And so Lebanese food is like just a big spread. Like I think we're known for having the most like appetizers. Like if you go if you went to Lebanon, went to go eat, there'd be about 25 appetizers before you even get started on your main meal, right? So you will be fed and you will be taken care of for sure.
You said you went back. What was that like? What was like that going back? You went as an adult, or you as a kid?
I've gone a few times. It's first time was a culture shock, right? Especially like I went there when I was young and it was like right after the Civil War. And so like you're seeing like rockets like stuck in the middle of a building and it's wild, but it's ancient and it's like Holy Land. So it's really, really old and it's incredible. Yeah.
A rocket in a building is wild. That's wild.
And it's very normal. But I will tell you what, they know how to party. Like every party is like clubs are open to like 5, 6 in the morning. They know how to get down. It's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful places I've seen. And it used to be like a huge vacation spot, especially for people like, on the other side of the world. But it's gorgeous. There's no desert. People think Lebanon, it's like a little myth. There's no desert. It's got 4 seasons. So like you can ski, you can go to the beach, you can experience all of it. And yeah, I'm telling you, people eat. I remember going to lunch with family and we got there at noon and we didn't leave until 5. and I'm like, they're hookahing, they're dancing, singing, there's music. I'm like, how do you all work? But it's a good life. It's a good life. And no matter what's going on there with all like, all the things that happen in the Middle East, I'm telling you, people are like, they have so much like full of love and joy and family and connection and like the biggest spirits you'd ever see. You wouldn't even know that all that was going on sometimes.
Fire.
Message.
Want to pull up.
Yeah.
I want to pull up.
Cuzzo, they say we rehearsed this shit, but what was the key word that I honed in on when she talked about that whole eating situation? What was the key word I honed in on?
Yeah, hookah.
Yeah,
I said you fit right in.
If I would have said it, they'd have been like, we rehearsed this shit.
Fit right in. I said you fit right the fuck in. He's like,
Reema, you got me on hookah.
You look more Lebanese than I do right now. Okay, your hookah in your hand, so you're more prepared than me.
Look, I said yes and hookah.
Yeah.
I just got another question about it too. Really quickly, I know a lot of the times we have a misconception about women's rights in the Middle East in general versus the United States. When you went home now, obviously experiencing the difference in both stages as a child and an adult. If you had it to do it all over again, would you decide to grow up in Lebanon and experience that all the way through, or would you still come to America for the benefits of that and do it that way?
Yeah, Lebanon is different than other countries, right? So it's not all the same, but and Lebanon was definitely for a long time a country where like every religion could live and cohabitate in this space, and it was it's a very peaceful place. Lebanon it's really old, right? It's like before it was called Lebanon, they were called Phoenicians by the Greeks, and before they were Canaanites, and so it's like trading cedar wood with ancient Egypt. It's been around for a long time, and always like in a place of peace. You don't ever hear them like us like outwardly going to war, right? But there's a lot of turmoil there. But living there as a woman, you can live really freely, and so I don't think I think if I lived there, I could have lived a really happy, fulfilling life and had a lot of joy there. I do appreciate like my parents being so open and like liberal to move here and like completely shift and change their lives. They actually met here. And, as much as this country is wild, there's like a lot of beauty in it as well too. So I'm not mad for being here. I just think I'll, as an adult, like I want to go visit a lot more and like make sure I stay connected.
That's real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you get tell us about getting into the industry? What was the school life like? Like, how did you, it's not a linear path. How did you get it?
Yeah. I went to so many different paths. So I went to school and wanted to be a journalist. Like I was a kid and I liked, Lois Lane and April from Ninja Turtles. And I just saw like a lot of like badass people, like just, doing things. And it felt like really exciting. And then I started working in magazines and I was so bored. I was like, this is not what I thought it would be. So I moved into higher ed space. I was like captain of the dance team in college and like learned so much in my extracurriculars, sometimes more than I did even in my classes, of like how to run a business, how to run a team, how to manage things. So I went into higher education and I started off in like student activities, really helped building leaders on campuses, and leadership development became a really big passion of mine. And then higher doesn't pay a lot. I don't know why I'm whispering, but it's no secret.
As soon as you said higher ed, I said, oh no.
I was just a little, sometimes it moved a little slow for me. I was like young and I just wanted to move fast and make change, and things take a little time. So, and then I moved into the corporate space and I started planning and developing like training conferences for people in corporate spaces and more talent development. And then I loved that, but I really missed having an impact on youth, like working with young people, like, developing older leaders is amazing and it's a lot of work. But there's like a different feeling that you get when there's people who are like, they're ready, they're eager, they want to learn. So I went back and forth and doing like talent development and leadership development in different spaces and in different industries. I then worked like with college campus leaders across the country. I planned conferences across the country at different colleges. And I started becoming a facilitator as well, like doing the actual teaching and the lessons. And that became a huge passion of mine. And then, there was one point I was like ready for a change and a shift. And I started like meditating and manifesting, and I'm like, this is what I need right now. And I found a role at the 4A's. And I first started at the 4A's planning their conferences and events, like producing a lot of like conferences and events for the advertising industry to support them. And then I found out about the 4A's Foundation, and like I fell in love with it. It is such a beautiful nonprofit that really like has an impact on the industry, more so than I think anything else that is happening there. So they're with MAPE and with a lot of like talent development. I got to meet a lot of really amazing leaders in the talent, the DE&I space. And I just started like building all parts of me. That entrepreneur that I told you about, like that's in my DNA came out because I'm like running a nonprofit. I'm also helping build programs. I'm also helping like consultant strategy agencies. And I just like started falling in love with all of it. And then Netflix gave me a call, and it was kind of like this perfect match of like, how do we work with our creative agencies to help make sure we're aligning with our inclusive practices and values? How do we also like take a look at our practices and the work that we're doing and make sure that they're, you know, like we're embedding inclusion into the creative process? And Netflix really wanted to build a program that helped really diversify the industry, right? Like Netflix is one part of this creative industry, but we have creative agency partners. We do so much in different spaces. It's like, how do we like make sure that the hands that touch our work are diverse from every level and every point? And being able to build a program like that required a certain set of skills that I just happened to have. And so it was like a really cool experience. And I love
you said that.
It like took me to the next level, honestly, of like who I am. It pushed me out of even further into pulling all the parts of me out to make sure that like everything is seen through with like the widest lens possible. And so it's been an incredible journey. And then in that first role, I built Access, and we really wanted to be really intentional with the program and see it through and really have the impact we wanted. And so now like that is my main focus, is like really running this program. So I don't know how I got here, to be honest with you. I just know that I learned at an early age, like instead of trying to figure out like, oh, I can't be in this industry. Can I be in this industry? What do I have? What do I don't have? I just learned who I was and who I am. And I'm like, that is what I bring to every single thing that I do. And so I don't know. I don't need to feel stuck in an industry. I will go wherever. And I know what you're going to get is me. And I know I can figure out what you do. I can figure out the industry. I can figure out the roles. I can figure out the job. But what you're going to get is me and how I do it. And that's like what's helped me really like be successful in any space.
Method.
Yeah, that's real. But let's unpack it though. Right?
Okay.
Where did you get the love for the talent development? Right, that's not something that usually people say, or you know what I mean. Like what? How did you get into that space? Because now you got a passion for it. We could tell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how? Where did?
I don't want to go too far into that because I kind of want to backtrack, and I don't want to.
There's a lot of in the movement.
Yeah, before we do that, Reema, because I know where Cuzzo's going with this, and then we're going to go further down a rabbit hole. So I just want to backtrack this a little bit because this is extremely important. Cuzzo comes from his mother being an educator. This is extremely important. Why is it that our educators are paid so less? Why are they not paid when their responsibility is for them to educate the next generations coming up to be the future for everybody, right? Doesn't matter what culture you're from, the next generations coming up are the future for everybody, right? Do you not feel like that is very discouraging to somebody that might want to be? Did you see the comment that we put up on the screen, right? Yeah. We have people commenting about it already. A lot of people are going through this in the moment. Do you think that discourages future educators from wanting to take that path, knowing that even though you want to do it from the heart for the love of the people, that you might not be able to make a decent living wage from that? I think that's extremely important to talk about.
I think so too. I think if you want to be an educator, you want to be an educator, right? I don't know. I'm sure it can be discouraging, but I think if you want to be an educator, you'll go into education systems because that is just like a core of who you are, right? It's like a passion and a love and a joy. But I think you will have some tough times. I think it can be hard. I think it takes a lot and doesn't necessarily give back financially. It gives back energetically. It gives back in the impact that you have, and it gives back in the fulfillment that you feel. And that's beautiful. It doesn't pay the bills, right? So there's like a give and take in what you do. But yeah, I mean, educators don't get paid enough. That's just a fact. And there's some roles, even roles that I've been in the corporate spaces where I'm like, yeah, I do make more, and I know that educators deserve this exact amount. But it's hard because, like once you get into education, you love it so much, you care about it so much, it becomes like who you are. It is hard sometimes to be like, no, I can go take these skills and go into a corporate space and make more, because that just might not be what interests you. You know what I mean? So corporate is a completely different world, and you'll make more money, but you might not feel fulfilled. And then there's like a whole different kind of stress that comes with that. So, it's tough, but like I learned that I can take that education part and turn it into developing people in any place I go, right? So that is where my passion for talent development came in, because it is an educator in a lot of spaces, in a ways. You're helping develop people, and they don't stop developing when they're in high school or in college. They continue to need to be developed as we get older. And for some reason, like, people forget that. So it's hard though, right? But there's a reason why there's people who have been in education for 20, 30, 40 years. It fulfills them in something different. And I think every job comes with those stresses, but should they get paid more? Yeah, hell yeah. Like there's no doubt about that. And you can see how it's kind of like shifting and changing, because I just don't know if people fully understand or grasp like the amount of work and responsibility and dedication that goes into it. It's blood, sweat, and tears. It's not for the faint of heart at all.
Message.
How do you unlock, like you say, talent development? How do you unlock or help somebody unlock their best selves, right? It's like a coach, right? So what are some things that you utilize to help somebody see the real true potential?
I just ask a lot of questions. Like I'm not, there's plenty of answers I can give, but really it's helping people like ask themselves questions, honestly. So there's two parts to it for me. One is like, how do you help people like better understand themselves, right? So even if I'm doing like a workshop on like understanding your own imposter syndrome, right? It's not to like talk about the imposters themselves, it's just to understand how it like manifests in you, and like how you can take back and shift it and transform it. A lot of the work I do is like, how do you take what's going on and where your areas of development are, and like alchemize that into becoming who you really are, And so I think with talent development, it's helping people know who they are, but then also helping people understand like the impact of who they are and what they do, and also like the awareness of those around them. And so there's a lot that goes into it, but at this really at the core of it, it's like, how do we help you shift your mindset, and how do we help you show up more authentically in who you are? Because like, right, we hire people because we know that there's something about them that's great, that's going to have the impact. And then they come, and there might be some areas of development that could be like technical, but also there's just like a lot of fears, a lot of scared stuff. There's just like adjusting and trying to like adapt to corporate spaces that kind of can get in the way. And so the more you can develop people to fill in those blanks, and then also like remember what they're bringing to the table, I think it just helps them develop into who they are. And like everyone's a leader. They just like don't know it yet sometimes, And so it's helping them find out what kind of leader they are and what kind of leader they want to be. And that just comes with giving some guidance and insight, but really like asking them a lot of questions and helping them dig deeper into themselves.
No. No. Everyone is not a leader. I refuse to do it. I'm not following some of you motherfuckers. I don't care what Reema said. I don't care how successful it's you. You're not leading me. Because no. The answer is no. And in Espanol, no.
Well, here's what I'll say. Everyone can become a great leader, right? Yeah. What happens is a lot of times people move up because they're good at their craft, not because they're good leaders or good people managers, but it's because they also haven't been taught it. They've just been taught to focus on their craft. So they do really well at their craft, and then they move up, and then they don't know how to like take that and to help inspire other people and motivate them. So not everyone's a good leader, but everybody is capable of being one. But We just don't spend a lot of time developing people to do it.
Yeah, we got more comments. See, we got more comments coming in. Get it, Cuzzo.
More important now than people are forcing the professional pivots they didn't ask for. That's real talk, Rakeisha.
That's real. That's real. That's real. You know, talent development is super important. I just think that once again, we're developing the talent way too late.
Yeah.
We are developing the talent way too late. Once again, back to education. We need to start developing this talent at an earlier stage so that one, they can develop the talent, but two, they can understand what that means and what that comes with. So by the time they get the opportunity, they can be better suited to fulfill that role. You know what I mean? I just think we're starting too late.
Example, like my son, my youngest son, he's on the iPad on ChatGPT writing episodes for his own cartoon series.
Wow.
Right.
Like now, what if he had some access at an early age and somebody like from Netflix was in school, or I'm not just saying I'm just on Netflix or any big distribution, right? And was like, yo, look, you know, you can do this, we can do that. Did you know this is how you get on TV? Do you know that you can do it? And imagine how that would harness his creativity.
Yeah.
Like I agree with Cuzzo on that. Like that would be super dope.
At 6, and that's the key part. He's 6.
That's incredible.
He's 6. You see? So now you harness that talent in elementary school, 1st grade, 2nd grade. Imagine what he is when he becomes junior high. Yeah. He's a beast, right? Imagine what he becomes in high school now, a monster. By the time he goes to college or gets ready to get one of these opening positions in the job, he's unstoppable because he's harnessed this talent now for 12 years of education or more, right? Instead of now, like you said, you come out of college, right? A lot of people come out of college in debt right off the bat, looking for opportunity, and they don't care if the opportunity is in the field of study that they've actually got in debt for or not, because now you just need to pay bills.
But that's actually a fire idea. Like they do that in sports. Why is there no farm system in corporate?
See, there you go. Here we go. Talk
if
about
you think about it, right? Like imagine if you had somebody like in high school, like you know you're going to get a role at this big corporation. They're going to help you. You're going to go to these programs. You're going to learn this. So by the time you graduate, you have a role, but you know how to do the role.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about a few things, right? You're talking about like access and exposure, right? When you go to college, all you know is like very few roles, right? Doctor, lawyer, this, that, right? Like you study business. What does business mean? It means a million things. So a lot of people don't have access to even knowing that they could do it, right? The program that I run really talks about entertainment marketing. Not a lot of people know, like you can make a movie trailer. You can really just be the composer of music that goes into movie trailers. Like you can make movie posters and billboards. That's not something like everyone learns about. So how do you even know that you can love drawing and go do that, right? Then the other part is like, if you're talking about building leaders, it's more than just skill sets. It's also like, how are you as a holistic human? So like the program we run has a wellness coach, has a personal development coach.
I like that.
Because the biggest reason why a lot of people, especially people from underrepresented communities, like struggle and leave like the roles that they've been dreaming of, is like it's mental health, right? Like you're beat up, you're worn down, you're tired. And a lot of it is like learning how to cope, learning how to manage feedback, learning how to give feedback. When you turn your passion and become a practitioner of it, it's very different, right? I can say like, I love drawing and I draw every day. Okay, great. Now we're putting you in an industry where what you draw, everyone will criticize and tell you if it's good or not. And you're no longer drawing for yourself. You're drawing for somebody who's telling you like their vision and purpose. And so it changes. So now you start feeling like insecure. You start feeling stressed out. You start feeling disconnected from the work that you're doing. It's no longer your creative passion. It's like, it's becoming a job. And then you're navigating those spaces and you've never experienced that before. And so it's creating like giving that access and exposure to like, we're going to practice this here. And then, feelings are coming up. Well, you're going to have a wellness coach that's now going to help guide you through what you're feeling and how to manage that, because your feelings are your own responsibility. No one else's. And so we're going to, help give you those tools to cope with it, because that's what's going to help make you that leader. That's what's going to help you get into that room. And when all of your ideas get killed, you're still up here and able to manage it and show up and still be creative, right? You're not starting to mask when you're at work because you're trying to fit in spaces. You're still remembering who you are and how to show up, how to manage up and share what you need. Those are skills that very much don't get taught, don't get shown. And then you're just stuck at work trying to figure it out, and you're highly triggered and you're running around everywhere and you don't know what to do. And that's what really like can break people, right? So helping learn those tools, helping to know how to ask for help, helping to knowing to like when to give help, knowing what your boundaries are so you don't burn out. Those are things that are not taught in school. They're not taught anywhere. So unless you like intentionally take that time, you never know how to do it. And I do a lot of spiritual work, so that is how I've learned it. But I was tried to be a superhero most of my life. I burnt out to the point where like sometimes it would take days to recover, sometimes it would take weeks to recover. Then it took years. I was like couldn't get up sometimes like without feeling like a struggle for a couple of years because I just burnt out.
That's right.
Not having back. Yeah, and so I take my struggles and I learn from them and I build them into programs, and then I help develop people so that they don't have to go through that, or they can at least get some gems from it, you know, and can learn from my own experience.
I'm with you. I just want to let you know I'm with you on that, Cuzzo. I like that. I really like that idea, bro.
Yeah.
And I think we should start reaching out to educators to really implement that into schooling, because at the end of the day, you know, it starts with the most basics when you're like in elementary and stuff, like your son is career day, right? Bring your parents to school day and tell what they do. Start with those type of things at those lower levels, and then implement, like Reema said, now implement some more spiritual learning. Or if you like this career, understand the problems that could come, because there's pros and cons to everything, right? You want to be a firefighter? Well, understand what firefighting looks like, right? And build on that, because at the end of the day, Reema, remember what in the United States, you are legally allowed to start working at the age of 14. Normally, the age of 14, you're entering high school, your 9th grade year, that's kind of like the standard, and you are already allowed to work. So once again, if you're not teaching people how to cope with work, deal with the stresses of work, deal with anything related to work, but you're already handing them a card saying, but now you can go and work, you are setting them up for failure.
Yeah, because what emotional intelligence do we have at 14?
Right. At 14, correct.
You know? So
and what happens at 14 too, Reema? Normally, most people are going through their pubescent ages, and now you're trying to find out who you are. Your body's changing. You're starting to feel these different emotions, and your chemistry's going crazy. You're trying to figure out who you are. Emotional intelligence towards work. I don't even know who I am right now. You want to get a job right now? Who am I right now? Right? Like,
I want to be a shot caller.
Right. And you're driven by different things too, right? When you're a kid, you're like, I got money in my pocket and I want to go do that, right? As you get older, you're driven by different things.
Yes.
At 43 right now, I don't like care about my title. Like that's just no longer my priority. Like moving up and like being at the top is just no longer important to me. It's very different. It's like, do I have balance in my life? I'd say losing my dad, I think in last December was completely shifted my priorities and what I care about. And now it's like, did I take care of myself today? Like that is my most important thing. Did I take care of myself today? Have I spent time with my family? You know, have I called the people I love? Like I'm measuring success very differently now. But when I was 14, it was like, hey, I got money in my pocket. That was the most important thing. Although, you know, working in my parents' spaces, you don't get paid. So, you know, that probably didn't impact me as much. But, you know, it's my goals have shifted completely, and how I measure success is very different every time. So you're constantly asking yourself, who am I? Like we evolve so much. And so I don't know. I think part of talent development, just part of being a human and developing, is like every year asking yourself, like, what are my goals and what's important to me? And am I like living every day, you know, towards those things?
You mentioned something real too about the burnout, right? I think a lot of people experienced that during the pandemic and still trying to experience that stuff now.
Yeah.
You know, you was burning out. Like, what would that look like? How did you get yourself out of that? Right? There's a lot that can help a lot of people.
Yes, I burnt out. I burnt out really badly during the pandemic. It was the point where I was just like, I like went to Mexico for 5 weeks because I was just like, I got to get out of here, you know? And then when I came back, it was really tough and I was tired all the time, you know? And, you know, we're all like living in our own places and our own boxes, and it was really draining. And then there were some parts where I felt like I was being drained by introversion because, like, you know, we couldn't see people a lot. So it was like I'm giving a lot, I'm outputting a lot, but I'm like receiving a lot. So that was really, really tough. And it took me like a couple of years. And you wouldn't know because I was still successful and I was like getting work done. But I felt tired all the time. You kind of feel like disconnected. There's like a little bit of apathy, like, you're doing things because you got to get it done, but not because like you care a lot. And it took a long time. I like got sick. I gained a lot of weight and then like wasn't healthy. And, you just walk around and you're just like, you don't feel good all the time. You're not fully present anywhere. And it took a lot of like not giving up on myself, just like pushing through, doing a lot of like in introspection, a lot of spiritual work, and just like not giving up on myself. And it took a couple years. I will tell you, like I said, probably my dad passing is what like really changed me back to just like living again. And that doesn't always happen for everybody. And it's not like, I don't wish that. I could have, figured out a different way, but I definitely feel like he's blessed me in like coming back to life, because you get into those spaces and you forget like the most important thing you're supposed to do is take care of yourself, and all of like the practices that you put into place to take care of yourself are like gone. And I just was just working. And that's kind of what I was doing. Now, I ask myself the questions that I need to ask. I'm like, what do I want to live? You start asking who am I? And I realized like, who am I is whatever I want to be, like I just started thinking of like adjectives that I wanted to describe myself as. And then I just started living as it. And I'm like, well, then I need to get up. I need to get out of bed. I need to go do these things. And it's a push and it's a struggle. But sometimes when you're in depression, it feels like you'll never feel any differently. I'm like, I used to sometimes think like, will I ever not feel this tired? Will I ever not feel this disconnected? It was really hard, honestly. And yeah, it can take you to a really like dark place sometimes, but I don't know. I have a fire in me, and there were times where it was just like I said, I have to know who I am and what I bring to the table. And I had to just give it to myself. And I wasn't used to that. So I was used to like giving it all to the work, people, everything. And I'm like, no, I know what to do to take care of myself because I do it for others. I just now have to make myself a priority. And I did. And I had to do that through a lot of compassion, because I was trying to like measure my day based on like when I was moving and running and shaking. And I'd be like, all right, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. and I'm going to do this. I'm going to work and I'm going to work out and I'm going to get this, blah, blah. And then I would fail. And I'd be like, why? It's like not give myself like the compassion and the grace to know, like, that's not where you're at right now. Like right now you're being called to sit down. And you're being called to sit down because you didn't sit down for a really long time. And now my body's like, I'm tired and I'll let you know when I'm ready, and I had to like surrender to that. And I had to accept it. It wasn't like full depression. It was just like contracting. I felt like I was contracting in order to like later move and expand. And so I had to accept like, now is the time to be in contraction. Now's the time to sit here. It's okay. We can't do everything that we could do before. What can we do? It's like, and then I'd be like, okay, well, today I can do this. And so I started measuring my success in my day differently than when I was doing 4 million things. I'm like, today I maybe do 2 things. And then I did those 2 things and it'd be good. And I'd be like, okay, I had a successful day. I remember even asking my body, like, why can't you just get up and do these things? Like, right. And my body was like, because all you talk about is work and working out and doing and that's not fun. And I was like, oh shit, I'm not having any fun. Yeah. So why would I want to wake up at 5 a.m. to go answer 400 emails? I don't want to do that. So like, no wonder my body was like, my body now tells me when I'm doing too much, if there's like something that I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds great. Like that job opportunity sounds amazing. My body's like, no. Because you're not going to be able to rest the way you rest now. You're not going to be able to take care of your health the way you do now. You're not going to be able to have community the way you have community now. So I started listening to my body, and my body guides me. And I didn't do that before. And now my body makes sure that I don't get back into that space.
Method. I love it. I love it. I'm glad you brought up the word community, because that's where our next, pivot was going to be. We often talk about once again, the mental stress of working, the mental stress of just wanting to be successful to a certain point, wearing the weight of success on your shoulders, maybe for your family and things of that nature, right? So while you were going through this, did you have anybody that, because oftentimes when you go through something, you don't notice it yourself first because you're inside looking out, right? Did you have anybody that kind of like nudged you or kind of like, called you and said, hey, Reema, I noticed you're not doing a certain thing? And like, did you have anybody like that kind of pulled your coattail to kind of help you realize you were going through it? That's number one. And two, how important was their support for you and helping you now overcome the situation that you went through?
I had a lot of people in my life, right? I do. I have a really amazing community, a huge like network of people. And I had both really toxic people and I had really caring, supportive people, right? So I'll be honest with you, but like my depression saved me a lot as well, right? Because what I started doing was I stopped having energy for the bullshit. So I couldn't show up sometimes for toxic people. And that made them mad, that pissed them off. They're like, you're not here for me. I need you to support me 24 hours. And I just couldn't do it anymore. And so I lost a lot of toxic relationships, and that was a blessing, and before my depression, I would not have been able to say no. So my depression taught me how to say no, and then it showed me also who is riding for me and who is my community, who cares. Because yes, I have a partner who supported me and guided me. And also just like, sometimes, when you have a partner with mental health issues, right? Like what loving them looks like is like, sometimes you got to do more.
Yes.
In those moments, like, okay, like he'd wash the dishes sometimes. If I just couldn't do it, he'd help, like make sure we ate, he'd sometimes be like, no, you're going to get up and you're going to go to that doctor, like, it's like, that's what supporting someone through mental health is like. And then I do it for him too. And so I have an amazing partner who I can know that like, if I'm down, like he's offered me love and compassion when I couldn't give it to myself. He offers me, he like picks up the weight of things, like when I can't do it sometimes. And he reminds me of like what my goals are and what I love to do, Then I have family. I have amazing friends. And also, I gotta be honest with you, I was not shy about talking about it. Like the best healing for me was not hiding it. So like the best way I could show up authentically to work was talking about my depression. Like I did not pretend that I was okay. I did that for a long time and I couldn't anymore. And so then all of a sudden, like I have a boss that's supportive, I have coworkers that are there. I have people that are like, thank you for sharing this because I don't get to share this when I come in. And like, now I don't feel like I have to wear a mask. Then I started doing like workshops for our mental health ERG because I'm like, I became the girl who talks about depression and it's not like something I wanted to, but I just, if I'm going to show up authentically, like, then that was where I was at. And it was a lot harder to not show up like that. And to be honest with you, I had depression and anxiety my whole life. I just avoided it so I could get shit done. And so I think it's not like the pandemic, brought something new. It just, you're home by yourself now. And like, there's not a million voices around you. So now you can start hearing the voices in your head and you're like, shit, this is not nice. This is not good. And so it's not like it brought something new. It's just brought it to the front and it was like, allowed me to sit with it, little like, hello darkness, my old friend, like just came here and now we can sit down and talk and actually get to the root of what's going on. And so, yeah, I don't pretend anymore. Now I'm not depressed, but I could have a sad day and I'm very present to it. And I just let it be a sad day. And then I move forward and then tomorrow could be a great day. And I'm totally okay with that. Sometimes like being sad is the most appropriate and authentic feeling I could have. I just have like surrendered and accept it. I just don't let it hold me down. It's like, it anchors me. It doesn't weigh me down. But yeah, community.
That's a tough ass thing to do to work.
It is.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, so we have a lot of executives come on. They say it takes normally about 10 years for you to be an authentic self in the workplace.
Sure.
And that's what it is. So like, was that for you? You were just like, I'm just tired of the bullshit. Like, this is what it is. Was this one thing? Like, because that's hard. Because you could have risked it. It could have had an adverse effect.
I think wherever you're at is authentic to you at that time. So if you're at work and you're wearing a mask, that's like authentically you right now because you have triggers and need to feel safe and don't feel maybe like you belong or whatever the feeling is. And that's the most authentic way you could show up right now. Is it who you really are in your day to day and how you and where you are when you're not there? No, but like that is authentically where you're at. Does that make sense? Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then you start getting older and you just start realizing like we're all full of it and we all got struggles and we're all going through it. You have your fights, you know, everybody's gotten fired, everybody's gotten, you know, like everybody's had something, right? And you just start like changing what matters and what's important. And so for me, this is like who I am. And so for me, what is showing up authentically at 43 is I can openly communicate when I'm struggling. I can ask for some support. Those are learned skills that I had when I was 25. Authentically, me wasn't going to ask for help. I was going to figure it out, and it was going to take me 3 days before I asked you for support, and that's just how I showed up. And you know, it doesn't manifest in the best ways, but that was who I was at the time. Now I'm like, I could spend 3 hours trying to figure it out, or I could just ask you, and you'll tell me. You know, you start learning and developing those skills that I think help you just become more comfortable with who you are and not needing that mask as much, right? So, yeah, I think it does take time because it takes like life experience and wisdom that you just don't have when you're younger to figure out who you are in those spaces, you know?
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, Reema. I'm sad now. I was having a good goddamn day, and you talk about 5 weeks in Mexico. I can't go to Mexico for 5 goddamn days right now. I can't even go to Mexico for 5 minutes.
5 hours. I can get a 4-hour stay. Can't get shit.
It was like it was healing. It was such a healing experience. Could you imagine like taking a work call by the beach and then like finish your call 10 minutes early and you just like go jump into the water for a little bit, come back and then take your next work call. Like I'm like, why do I work here? Why am I
right.
I don't know why I came back, honestly.
Right.
But whatever. It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have to, and we struggle with this on the show, and we're gonna be transparent with you, Reema. We struggle with this, me and Cuzzo, a lot with ourselves, with working so much. Keep moving the goalpost. Okay, we got that accomplishment. What's next? Okay, what's next? What next?
Right.
We was in Cannes, France for the festival and didn't even enjoy or acknowledge the fact that we was in Cannes, France. None of us had ever been to Cannes, France.
Yeah.
And because we worked almost morning till night, every single day we were there, it took for us to get to Amsterdam on the way back or wherever we was at to be like, yo, we just left France and we didn't even enjoy. Like we didn't even. We didn't do.
We just was
nothing.
That's wild. I know that. Like I used to travel all over the country for work, and at first I was like that too, and then I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So everywhere I went, I would look up to see like if there was a sports game going on, concert, if there was something, because like you can't say you've been like, was I really there if I didn't actually, you know, get to explore it and go somewhere. You have to remember yourself. I'm telling you, like it's hard, right? Because that ambition and that hustle is a huge part of you, right? That's like a fire and a spark, but that's one part of you, right? There's also a part of you that could love music, could love food, could love people, could love dancing, could just love like reading, could anything, going to the beach, anything it is. You have to bring all of that with you. There's parts where like I just might like to sit at a park by myself. That might be something you do, like finding that one thing that is still you everywhere you go. But I just learned that there's more parts of me than just my ambition. And my ambition is here, and I love it and I honor it, and I will always kick ass no matter what work I do. But also I can take that ambition and remember all the other parts of me. So like I'm learning to play the drum. I'm learning, like I said, how to read and write in Arabic. I'm learning how to garden. I am just like, I sound older and older as I talk.
Yeah. Listen to him. You learn something.
I haven't started crocheting yet, but I'm sure that's one day in my future.
Yeah.
My partner, he loves Lego sets. So sometimes we just sit down and we'll build Lego sets together. And instead of like, we could go put our laundry away, or we could just sit down and like just build a Lego set. It's like remembering all the parts of you. That's because that's why we feel drained, because we're just like honoring one part, and that one part gets all the attention. But also like my mornings are for me. I go to the gym. I am there for 2 hours. I feel healthy. I feel good. And I need to do that, right? My spiritual practice is a part of me. I need to make time for that. If I don't, then I can't even show up fully at work or anything else. So I just don't forget there's many parts of you that need attention. It's not just one, you know, and that sucks. You need to go back to France, honestly, and try it differently.
What's the game plan, Cuzzo? We already discussed it. What's the game plan?
A week earlier, or a week later, either.
Yeah, that's what you need to do.
There it is. There it is.
We have to.
There it is.
Right.
The funny part about it was Beyonce was doing a concert 2 days later, and in Paris, and a lot of people left France, got on the train, and went to Paris and went to the Beyonce show. We got on the plane and came home.
It was nasty. I was so glad on the way home.
That's inappropriate, honestly.
Right. The battle, Reema, we talk about success. We want our listeners to understand success is super important. But the battle is constantly keeping success, keeping the momentum going versus the changing climate and feeling like if I let off this gas, if I let my foot off this gas and try to enjoy just a moment, somebody might take my spot. Somebody might zoom past me. You understand? It's very difficult because it's a constant feel of, okay, I did good, but is it good enough to stay?
Yeah.
You know, will I make the cut when the next cuts come around? Did I do good enough for them to, feel good about me, to give me a sense of security? I feel like a lot of people in their work, in their workplace, in their careers, whatever you want to call it, they don't have a sense of security.
Yeah.
And without that sense of security, that's why most people that work office jobs don't take vacations at all.
Yeah.
Most people that work, they don't take vacations, right? Because they're too afraid that if I'm not here, the work won't get done. And if the work, they're gonna hold it. It's a fear, and I think it's crippling us as a community, as a society in general. It's crippling us.
I mean, there is no security in a job. Like a job can't give you security. And if you want to, you can't change the feeling. You have to change the story. So, the story is like, if I do all this thing, I will get security. No, that's not true. Because how many people have gotten let go and didn't have any vacations, right? Security is with you. And for me, I move in faith in a different way now, right? So what's meant for me, nothing can stop it. So if I get let go tomorrow, what is meant for me is that was what needed to happen in order for me to go move where I'm supposed to go. If I could easily lose a spot, then that's what's meant for me, to go find the spot I'm supposed to be on, and kind of like go there. And that's not always easy. And it's not easy to do at different times of your career. And it's not easy to do when we all have bills to pay. But like I had to change the story, right? Because if I'm relying so much on my job making me feel secure, the reality is no one is secure at their job. It doesn't matter if you're an executive leader. It doesn't matter if you've been there for 20 years or 2 minutes. It doesn't matter how gifted you are. There is no such thing as security, So security has to be my story and no one else's, right? Am I secure in my shit? What am I doing to make sure I feel secure? If I want to make sure that I'm secure financially, then like I'm the person who can do that. How do I do that and make that happen? So yeah, a lot of times we try to let go of a feeling, but really we have to let go of the story. And once you let go of the story, the feeling can change. Because if I change the story to I'm responsible for my own safety and security, now I'm moving differently and I'm making plans and I'm moving in that space, as opposed to like, I'm going to struggle and suffer so that, they could do it. If the story can also be, if I take a vacation, I will be more rested and I'll be more in like my creative space and I can be builder. And now I can move forward and do that. But some people do get let go for doing those things. Those are not false fears. Those are real things that happen, right? And so it's like trying to find that balance of navigating it. But it's like, I've never seen anybody who didn't get fired because they never took a vacation either. If anything, you get burnt out and sometimes you can't even show up fully, and that can cause more harm as well too. So it's like, we got to break some of those stories that I think like hold us back from joy,
That's fact.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking
good. No, she's good.
She's good.
Thanks.
I really like that. I really like that analogy. I'm going to start pumping that analogy because that's a fantastic analogy. Change the way you're thinking, change the narrative. But I think, like you said, it comes with age. Like I feel that way now. Me, Cuzzo, no, we taking vacations. I'm being honest with you. Like we 3-4 year. I'm not gonna be here from the 1st to the 13th. You got to make it happen because of that feeling. But you know why? Because we actually went through the bad parts.
Exactly.
Because we got burned out. Because we've worked 80, 90 hours a week and still got let go. We worked 100 hours a week and still got let go. We worked on weekends. Cuzzo worked on his birthday. We'll do all of these things that technically we could use those as excuses to take personal time.
Yeah.
And still the reward wasn't what we thought it would be.
It was rewarding when we worked on the birthday. That was for our business.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying,
you're excited.
It's just rewarding. If I'm working for somebody else and doing all that, hell no, it's not rewarding, right? I've done a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of things where people didn't see our value. I've been in this corporate space for about 12 years. I've never had my talent developed. I had never had no company invest in my talent.
Right.
I've been a CAN. I've been a VP. I've been this. Went from a VP all the way down to an AE. What did that do with my mental wellness, right? Now I'm going from this role to this role. Now you think like, damn, I'm lesser of this and that. And you still got to figure it out. Like we say this all the time. Like we had a hell of a year. We went into this year not knowing how the fuck our year was going to be, sis.
Yeah.
We just keeping it real with you. We like, yo, we did so much last year. What the hell can we do to make 2025 better than 2024? We had zero plan. There was nothing on the whiteboard. We just like, yo, it's going to be better. We end up going to Bel Air, right? We went to Bel Air for the Millionaire Mansion. We did CIAA. We covered that for the first year. We did Par for Peace event. We had a billboard in Times Square.
Yeah.
Never had a billboard in our life. Had a billboard in Times Square. Guess what? It was work. As soon as we finished it, it was all right. That's cool. What's the next thing? How we get 2? How we get 3? How we get 4?
We didn't even enjoy that, bro. We posted it. It was like, yo, that was dope. Everybody was like, yeah. We was like, okay, that was yesterday.
That was it. CMO McDonald's tomorrow. Tune in.
Right. Exactly. Like
what the fuck?
Imagine that, Reema. Imagine that. We're talking 2 inner city kids.
Yeah.
To come from where we came from. For us to be like, no, tune in. You're gonna see our names and then because it was twice. Incredible. And our pictures on a billboard in Times Square. Like that is and I promise you, it was a Tuesday.
And that was 3 weeks before CAN.
Right. It was just like a Tuesday. We was like, yeah, we on the billboard and we're gonna see you next week. We'll be in the French Riviera. Like, this is crazy. Like
that also, like, first of all, that's incredible. I'm really grateful that we're sitting here right now and honoring that and sitting in that. So let's celebrate that for this moment.
Appreciate it.
And you got to do that because that's what will fuel you, right? In those spaces, because that's when the burnout comes. Like I used to do the same thing. It's like, accomplish this amazing thing. And then it's like, okay, what's the next project? It's like,
right.
I haven't even like let it fill my cup at the same time, so that's incredible, by the way. And you've had an incredible year, right? It's almost December. And so I love that. And then when do you get to sit and enjoy that before you go on to like, what's 2026? Like, just take that time to just, I don't know, honor yourself. Because that's
no time to honor me, sis.
None.
Change the story. There is time. There's always time.
I gotta edit this shit right after. We must post on social.
But like your passions turns into a to-do list, right? Like we just like cranking and goals, but like, yeah, take a minute, put on your to-do list, celebrate. Even if it's like, go hug your kid, whatever it is, do something to celebrate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a struggle, but I'm glad you said what you said, Cuzzo, about you never had talent development for yourself. You see?
Never had to learn it.
Look, you see that?
Same.
You're right,
Same.
And
just imagine.
There, right there. See, once again,
we became a VP at 26.
There we go.
I was the first employee, one of the first employees in Kansas, like from the Bronx. I'm probably the only person in the Bronx that ever worked for Essential.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is crazy. Flying over the world, flying to London, flying here, all this black car, all that shit was crazy. I was like, what oh man, the building. How that shit goes. So imagine it. So having to learn how to do deal structures, right? How to execute my pipeline, how to do this, all that shit. Building relationships with the right people, just building in office relationships, right? I was working with Simon. That's how we got the CEO of CAN to come on the show. Was working with him. Just happened to be saying hi. Never treated him bad. Was just a real dude.
Right.
Now you're CEO. Now we can chop it up. You can come on the show. You'll come on the show at 6:00 in the morning for us.
Yeah.
Like that's real. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's the stuff that we've done. But I've never had nobody like, I've had one person, Chris Hart. Shout out to my brother, Chris. He was the one person in my corporate career that's like, yo, I'm going to pull you aside. This is what we're going to do. When I did the LinkedIn thing, he was the one person, he was my boss at the time. I was like, yo, look, I'm not doing these emails. I'm not fucking doing it no more. I'm not doing the cold calls. It's got to be a better fucking way. I'm like, I'm going to go on LinkedIn. I'm going to figure it out. I got 200 followers, but I promise you, in 90 days, there's going to be customers lined outside the door for us.
I love it.
Word to everything. Closed a $450,000 deal. He believed me. He could have told me, shut up. He would have been like, yo, no, we got to pay the bills.
Right.
And then I wouldn't have had this. We wouldn't have been able to build the platform the way we have so far and all that other stuff. So imagine if it was somebody at each stop, but not all these corporations are going to invest in their people. Because sometimes we're just the name of the number, especially in sales. 70% of these salespeople get fired in the first year.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
We're not an investment, but we end up driving the revenue. I find that to be crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of sales places, like they expect turnover in 3 months. So it's like, you'll get your sales, you'll get the people, like they'll get your network and then they let you go. But a lot of people aren't. Like, I feel you. I wasn't developed either. It was just like, what are you and what can you bring? I think a lot of times companies, like, they just like direct connection. Like, have you done this before? If you've done this before, we'll do it. They don't take a look at like who you are as a person and your transferable skills and like how you can show up. It's like, no, I didn't know shit about advertising when I went into that space. And I remember like interviewing and trying to focus on that. And then being asked questions when I was at Netflix. One of my first interviews was like, she's like, what's your global experience? And I'm like, I don't have any global experience, but this is what I do. And this is what I'll do for the first 30, 60, 90 days to figure it out. And I remember she said, at Netflix, it's not just about what you know, it's also about knowing what you don't know and being able to own that, And so like that part of the interview like shaped me, because we spend a lot of time like focusing on what we don't know, but nobody's actually like helping us invest. So sometimes we don't get opportunities because there's like one area of development that we don't have. It's like, if you see that I'm shining in everything I'm doing, why don't you develop that talent and like help fill in those blanks for them? Like, you have to invest in people, right, in order to retain them. And just a lot of times that doesn't happen. So unless you have that yourself, like a lot of people just get looked over because they just don't have that one thing. It's like, people, I think a lot of times companies, they just want like the easiest transition. Like, I'm going to bring you in. You already know what you're doing. I don't take the time to train you. And I like can get you up and running right away. And that's like easier for me. Again, leaders who don't know how to lead will look for that. A leader who does know how to lead will know how to can be able to see people and their value and be able to like want to invest in them. But that just takes time. And not people want to make that time, so
That's a fact.
you have to look for it yourself.
Yeah. I got a question for you. Being as successful as you are now, we talked about early influences in young Reema's life. Even though you have achieved a certain level of success in your life now, is this what you could have seen yourself doing when you were a child? Like, is this what young Reema wanted to do when she was younger? Or did you have like a different path kind of planned out for yourself at an early age?
I was never like a person who planned that far in advance, know, and I think it kind of was a blessing for me. I think I spent a lot of time trying to be like, to not be what, I think my dad wanted me to be a lawyer. I just argued really well, but I think like, I don't want to do that. I think like, it's like, a lot of like, oh, own your own space, do this. And I just was like, I don't know. I just moved in this faith of myself and I just moved in my knowing. And sometimes like, I remember my dad being worried a lot of times of like, well, is that going to be okay? What if there's a recession? Will you be able to manage it? I'm like, I will be fine. I just knew I would be fine. When I want like more things, I just was like, well, I'll go make more money. I don't know. I just didn't question it a lot. So I move in my knowing a lot. And doesn't mean that it was the absence of like feeling like an imposter sometimes or feeling insecure, but I just knew in my knowing, and I just always move in this faith, like I'm going to be okay. I've lost jobs. I got laid off, like, especially like a couple of times, like recessions and things. And I'm like, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to find the next thing. And I don't know. I think that moves and guides me. That is like kind of what helps me continue to grow and evolve. And who knows what I'll be doing next, honestly. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of things that interest me now that didn't even interest me before when I was growing up. So I'm like just open and willing to just go wherever my spirit wants me to go.
Shit, but I know there's got to be something though. That one thing that I'm big on affirmations.
Yeah.
I could tell you are. You're very spiritual.
Yeah.
So what's the one thing? Can you speak it in life? Because when it happens 2, 3 months, 4 years from now, I want to have it on tape. So I want to have it on tape. You said it here,
right here,
and you did it, and you actually fucking said it, and you went.
She said it right here.
Okay. Does it have to be career related or just?
Or just anything, whatever.
Anything.
I'm learning how to play the darbuka. It's a Lebanese drum, and I want to be able to get on stage and like perform a song like that. That is my goal. I want to like right now. I'm like stumbling and fumbling, and like that making that mind muscle connection. But I already can vision myself like being on stage, playing some music, and entertaining, and that is a goal of mine.
Fire.
I like it. I mean, Cuzzo. I mean, since we talking about it, what about you, man? Like,
yeah, what's your goal?
Right now, today, November 4th, 7:45 p.m. What? Give us one. Come on.
I got so many, bro. Like,
I mean, just pick one.
A lot of shit we've done. I'm sorry. Like really, at the end of the day, for me, what I want us to be recognized as the top podcast mainstream. That's what I really want. Like, I want us to be the mainstream, the Joe Buttons, and when it comes to this business shit, I want to be the ones that have the major community. I want to have all that shit, because at the end of the day, I feel like our message is way bigger, and what we're doing right now, we're just knocking on doors, and the impact we have right now is incredible. Like, we've done shit that journalists that have been doing this shit for 20, 30 years haven't done, and we're just an independent Black media company. Like, we don't have to. Like, so we've done a lot of crazy things. I would like to interview somebody like the CEO of Red Lobster and shit like that. I want to do that. We're going to get that. I want to interview him. I want to interview like an Elon or somebody. I want to interview somebody crazy. I don't know. What you want to do, Cuzzo?
I mean, because of the work that we're doing, I just want to honestly be around to see some type of tangible result from it. Mm. And I know that sounds funny, but we often talk about the sacrifices that the leaders have made before us, that they unfortunately didn't get a chance to see the fruits of their labor kind of come to fruition. So that's really all I want to be able to do. I want to be able to sit back one day and see some type of real positive change, and sit back and say, not that I did it, but I know I was a big part in helping that along.
Yeah.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, that honestly, that's just really what it is, because, Cuzzo, you have children. I have children. We both got 2 boys. Reema, I don't know if you have any children, but for us, like, the children are our future. Again, we keep going back to that. The generational wealth building is the generations that come up and be better. So I just want to be able to sit back and just feel like, I was able to make my child's life easier, Cuzzo's child's life easier, a lot of families' child's life easier. Yeah. By the work that we put in on these Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Our content gonna be in museums.
Yeah.
We promise you.
I wouldn't mind being in a museum.
We're gonna be in museums, right? Think about it. There's like had a hall of more than a title, right?
Right.
What are some of the gems they've had? Shit like that. That's gonna be an year thing.
Yeah, I think that would be absolutely dope. So we talk about you talk about developing people, and you talk about pouring into people. So now I got to ask you, like, what was your toughest challenge with that? What was that one person? Because there's always that one person, like, I'm trying with you, Bill, I'm trying. Like, what was that one story where you were trying to like help somebody out, but it's just like they just kept fighting you every step of the way? Like, I know you got one of those.
I got a lot of those, and a lot of them are Bills, probably. So.
Message.
There's like, I think there's like, let's say like 3 types of people at a company or in the world, right? It's like people who want change, who want to grow, who want to develop, right? Mm-hmm. There's people who are like, I'll do it because I have to, and if you need me to do it, I'll do it, right? And there's people who are just like, I'm just waiting for this to pass so I can keep going and being me, right? Especially like in inclusion spaces. So I've learned to navigate all of those spaces, right? I've learned to just like try to meet people where they're at. Like, I might be at step 10, but they're at step 1, and I can keep getting frustrated. They're at step 1, or I can remember like that is what I'm here to do, and help bring them to step 2, 3, 4, 5, and like guide them, right? And accept them where they are. And then there's just people who say crazy shit, like there's people one time was just like, I think we were talking about like diversifying industries, like the agency and the industry. And they're just like, well, I don't want the Black guy who went to Harvard. I want like the Black guy who could have been a drug dealer, but then decided to work in the creative space. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, how many things? No. He's calling for you, Jarrett. He was calling for you. And also, there's so many fucked up things about what he said, and I'm just like, where do we start here, sir? You know,
diversity. They open up opportunity for a brother.
I should be like, you know what? Hold on. Let me text Jarrett for you. But
I didn't raise my hand because I didn't want Hayes to get mad at us, cuz.
No, they ain't like that. I wasn't a kingpin.
Hayes gonna be like, stop glorifying what y'all did in the street.
It's our story.
I'd rather raise my hand.
You know, like saviorisms and things like that, like, you know, struggles. Right. A lot of people who want to like build programs and like want to make shift and change. There's a lot of people who really do care, but they just don't know how much their bias impacts them. So there are people who say crazy shit, yes. And those are people like, I've learned how to navigate, and then like I can close my computer and then just start cursing, you know. But really, like, where sometimes the biggest struggles are people who do want to make change, who want to see change, but don't actually want to change what they're doing, you know. And that, I think, sometimes is what you have to navigate. It's like, we want to change and we want to work with this and we want to do that. I'm like, okay, well, are you willing to let go of your practices? Oh no, I'm not. Well, are you willing to put in that time? Oh no, I'm not. Are you willing to like take a little bit longer in your process? No, I'm not. Like, well, then I'm like, well, then, you know, how are we supposed to get to that change? It's not something like they bring someone in like me and they think like I will make the change, and because I'm here, I am the change. I'm not the change. I'm here to help guide you to change. And shift some of the things that you're doing so that there can be space for change. And like, that is the hardest part. But do people say crazy shit? Yeah, I don't want to say all of it here on live space, but it's a lot. It's a lot. And there's like a lot of misconceptions. There's someone told me like, oh, you're here to change hearts and minds. I'm like, it's above my pay grade to change someone's heart. I can't do that. But I can help you like, you know, critically think a little bit more before you make a decision and say something. I can help you, you know, think about authentic representation and what that looks like on the screen and how you can get to achieving it. But I can't change your heart. Like, that's something we can always do. So yeah.
So what's the reverse story? What's a story that of somebody who needed that talent developed, right, and end up being hugely successful?
So, I mean, so many. I could tell. I mean, I don't know. Like,
but just like, you know, one story. What's one that stick out to you? You ain't got to say the person name or nothing.
Is Bill one of the both? Is Bill the negative and the positive?
Nah, I want
you know what?
Jacquees and them. I want to hear about Javon.
You know what? I'm going to tell you, like, doing this access program, right? Like our first cohort. And so they're the first, right? Mm-hmm. So like, we're building it as we go, right? And they're incredible human beings. And also like, we learned a lot, right? It was like really intense. It's like taking people who, the program is for, you don't have to have any experience. You just have to like a passion for wanting to be creative and want to be like in entertainment marketing and want to learn, right? So now you have people from different, all walks of life. They could be 18, they could be 54. Like, we had every age range, and we're teaching them someone new, different skill sets, different levels. But like the level, it's a very intensive program, right? We're like taking 4 years worth of education and putting it into like 20 months. And it's intense. There's like I said, a lot of that comes up, a lot of mental health stuff, and like just being able to watch all of them transform. Honestly, like, I wish I could tell you one, but to be able to see all of them transform from maybe they worked in completely different industries. Like, someone worked doing puppet shows, someone worked like in healthcare, someone worked in education, and then seeing them all transform and just take like their passion for creativity. Maybe they were great like on their social posts, but like now they're over here like doing movie campaigns, is just like incredible to witness. And then watching them, I'm telling you, sometimes they hated me, because like, even when I was like, you're going to get a wellness coach, they were like, why would you do this to us? I'm like, you're welcome, you know, but you have to like, I had to just stick to the course and know that like, even though you're fighting me every step of the way, this is going to help benefit you and transform you and do it. And if you watch them now, like 10 out of 12 that complete the program fully have like full-time jobs at agencies. They're killing it. They're doing movie campaigns that you're watching all the time. Like, they spoke on a panel and they started talking, and I'm like, wow, this is like an incredible transformation. But doing programs like this and doing talent development, you kind of like are creating a safe space for people to fuck up, for people to fall, for people to trip, for people to struggle, for people to fight you, for people to like project all those things. And it's like, cool, do that here because you're loved here. Because when you go out into like your job, no one's going to give a shit. So let's like trip here and feel safe. And so I could tell you, like, it's hard to know that one story because I could tell you I've seen it a million times. When you're doing this, like this type of talent development work, like you're building people while like they're growing and tripping and falling and getting back up, and like you might lose them a little bit and then they come back, then something happens to them and they go, it's a lot, but it's like totally worth it because at the end you get to see where they're at and you're like, holy shit, this is incredible.
I knew it. Yeah, I had wellness one time at work, and it would always be some lady. They were like, "All right, let's meditate virtually." I'd be like, "Yo, nah, I can't get it." Like, no, I'm trying to get into this. I tried it twice. It was like,
couldn't do it.
It just maybe I need to learn a different way. It was just like just go to your happy place, like Bob Ross, and I can't do this shit, and I got a meeting in an hour.
Right. Shut that brain off. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard. But you also, I do want to talk about, if you don't mind talking about, because you did talk about you lost your pops. And I lost my aunt the day we were leaving for Cannes. I lost my aunt that morning, and we just had it was my cousin's birthday yesterday. It was the first without her mom. You know what I mean? So I would love to, tell us about that experience of losing a parent. I haven't lost a parent. How'd you get through that? Like, what are some of the emotions you were feeling? Like, what are some things that could help people cope through that's been and experienced that?
Yeah. I think I've learned that I think grief has been my greatest teacher. And I've lost people, plenty in my life. But losing my parent is like, it's like your biggest fear happens and then you're like still here, and losing my dad was one of my biggest fears. Like, there was like a lot of like at an early age, I know I was very conscious of like what that would be like. He had like health things a lot. And even though we knew like he had health things, it was still so devastating for me. I remember this time last year, just knowing, like, I just felt it. I'm like, my dad's going to die soon. And then he had a heart attack on Thanksgiving. And then I was in the hospital with him for like the 2-3 weeks that he was in there. And I'm like, I am not leaving your side. I'm going to sleep here. I'm going to spend every waking minute I can with you. I slept there because I'm just like, I'm going to take in as much as I can. And I was there with him when he passed. I have to tell you, he changed my perception of death. Like the whole time he was still very very conscious, very cognitive. And he spent weeks we were recording him. He was talking to us about like how he wanted his estate planning to go. He just cared so much to make sure we were all okay. And that like my siblings and I understood his plan and that it was fair and we'd all be good. He was like, if I can't live without machines and I don't want to, and I know it's my time, that type of surrender and acceptance when like you face something like we're all going to have to one day, the bravery of it, it just changed the way I viewed facing death, and also seeing him cry and be vulnerable and be sad and be like, I'm going to miss you. And like all of those things, even when he was like about to pass, I was like by his side and he was like, be ready, Reema. And I was like, it's happening. And he was like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Like that is a level of strength I don't even know was possible. And so he shaped me and transformed me. And I sit with him a lot. And I realize there's a level of sadness that I can't describe and will never leave me. Like it is just so large. It is so big. And it's like the most appropriate feeling I can have. And I've like experienced every level of stage of grief, and every stage of grief, I understand the importance of it and what it does and how it's what it's taught me. And what it's teaching me the most is like, I can't live around my sadness. I literally like, it is my fuel. It is my anchor. And when I sit in it, like I expand and I grow, and it's really like changed my life in such a way that I just feel like blessed by it. And I could have waited decades to experience that loss. But the more I embrace grief, it is the most beautiful, humbling, incredible teacher and motivator and flame that I've ever experienced in my life. And so I continue to feel blessed by my dad. I can hear him tell me like, I get to just bear witness to you now. And it doesn't feel like the end of my relationship. It just feels like our relationship, this is the stage of our relationship now. And this is where we've transformed, and this is where we continue to grow. I still learn from him. I still like understand him in a different way. I still connect with him. I can still feel him. So it doesn't feel like an ending. It just feels like this is where we are in our relationship right now. You're still my dad. You're just in a different space and in a different energy field. And I'm still like right here with you, you know? Yeah, it's a lot. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's telling you what's important.
That was powerful.
And I don't know if we said it, but let me say it now. Our condolences to the loss of your father, because I know we've been talking about it, but just in case we haven't said it, our condolences for the loss of your father, because obviously losing a family member is very impactful. I can relate. I lost my father, but I lost my father at a very young age. I was like 8 or 9. So unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to have the life experiences that you're pulling energy from.
Yeah.
But I can definitely understand where you're coming from, because losing a parent is, you get 2 parents and that's it. You know what I mean? There's no resets, and most of the time, you don't prepare for it, right? You don't prepare for it, right? Even though we all know it's an eventuality that will happen, you don't really prepare for it, right? So, I just
that prepares you.
Yeah.
You like, I've done spiritual work that
Right.
helped come to a level of acceptance. Like there were times where I would just like want him to take care of himself more, and I'd get frustrated and I'd fight with him and all of those things. And doing my spiritual work and sitting in with myself, I got a lot of messages of like, your dad came here to master a lot of things. Health was not one of them. And also like, this is his choice. Like we all choose how we live. And like, I just feel really blessed that I did get the time with him. Like talk about, I feel blessed that, the agreement we made was that, he would be here as I transitioned into this space, and I got to be with him when he transitioned out of it, and I feel really blessed by it. But I did a lot of reconciling with my own shit before he passed, but nothing prepared me for the loss. It sucked as much as I thought it would and more, and I'm incredibly sad. And like, of course there's a loss, like my DNA is activated. There's like literally something missing. My body like feels it, but it grounds me. It makes me feel really present. And it teaches me like all the time. Like, I listen to my body more than I ever have. I do a lot to take care of my body so that I can have the capacity to grieve as deeply as I need to. I like myself more. I love myself more. It's like I said, the more I embrace my grief and the more I embrace the feeling of that loss, I'm finding who I am. And I think we talked about authenticity before. There were times where like I would show up to like brunch with some friends, and I'm like, why the heck? Like I was anxious and I like wasn't feeling like myself, and I'm like, what's going on? And one day I just sat with myself, and I think I heard the question I asked myself was like, if I could show up authentically right now, what would it look like? And I like wept. Like I had never wept before. And I was like, if this is just authentically me right now, and I could try to like put a smile on, but then it's going to manifest in being anxious, feeling like tender, getting sensitive, like being irritable. It can manifest in like being tired, so I'm learning about myself every day, right? If I'm like tired and can't get up in the morning for a few days, I'm like, no, something's going on, Reema, what's going on with me? And like, if I'm starting to feel irritated or like really, like I said, sensitive, oh, I've been avoiding my grief. I can just sit with my sadness for a second. It's just made me really present to me. And that allows me to like show up in a way I never could before, and I like it. I don't know what else to say. I like it.
No, I felt that.
I appreciate you sharing that, because that was deep. And I promise you, Reema, I promise you this. You've seen the engagement that you have already had with the comments. This is why we created this platform.
Facts, though.
Because I guarantee you, this is not a guess. There are people going through the loss of a loved one right now. There are people going through severe depression issues right now. You understand? And they are looking for help. They're looking for information and ways to try to deal with it. So they're going to look at this episode, and I promise you, you are going to help several people through their situations and help them heal by just expressing to them what your situation was and telling them how you healed and your journey through it. So I just want to say thank you for being vulnerable enough to share that with us on the show, because again, success is not linear. It's not without bumps and bruises and detours and potholes, right? It's all of that to get you to the end goal. And they have to understand that, because once again, if you're not prepared for it, right, the preparedness of being, then when it happens to you, you might not be able to deal with it productively, and it might break you, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I can understand how, well, thank you, first of all. I can understand how you can get lost in it, you know, because a lot of times, like, I'm building a spiritual relationship with my dad, and it's beautiful, right? And no amount of that changes how big my sadness is, you know? I'm just learning. I think a lot of times we live our lives like we try to find ourselves like and avoid the sadness and try to find ourselves around it. And really, like, what I'm doing is like I'm finding myself by going through it, you know? And I can't minimize this. Nothing will change like the loss of like wanting him here. You know, I can talk to him every day. I can feel him with me, but I just want to fucking sit and hold his hand and see him, you know, and break some bread with him. And like that, I can never do that. So nothing will replace that sadness. The reason why I'm okay with it is because I'm learning that it's the only thing that has to exist. Right. So while that sadness is still here and it's a huge part of me, I'm like creating through it. So that's why I'm finding joy in learning about my lineage. And that is why I'm finding joy about like learning music and gardening. Cause I learned that with my dad, you know, that's why I'm like
Connection.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
like sparking other emotions as well too, like joy and creativity. I don't know if creativity is an emotion, but it is for me, you know,
Right.
like talking about him and being able to laugh, like,
Yeah.
but also just like, I'm still alive. What else do I want to do? Right. Or how do I take care of my own health when I'm talking about him? So it's like, it's in this, if I live in my sadness, that doesn't mean it weighs me down. It just anchors me and allows me to like create all other things through it, you know? And so I think people lose themselves because it's like, if you're trying to avoid that pain, it can become very depressing because you use so much of your energy trying to avoid the feeling of that loss. But anytime I sit and like I weep, and like I'm telling you, like I didn't know like that many tears had come out of my eyes at one time. Afterwards, I feel lighter. I feel like more motivated. I feel more focused, and I feel like more connected to myself. So I would just encourage anybody, like, feel it, like have your moments, but just don't let it weigh us down. It's like taking it and like using it as fuel, I think, to become myself. And that's just so much easier than what I tried to do before when I would lose people. I would try to, like I said, avoid it. And I can now talk about loss of other people in a different way. Maybe if like I lost somebody 20 years ago, I didn't even process it. I now can sit and process it because losing my parent, it was like the loss was so big, it's like I couldn't avoid it. Like I just couldn't, even if I tried to. Like I knew my father like before I knew anything else, right? Like, I mean, these are the people who knew you before I had memories, right? So I knew you know your parents before you have memories. So how do you live your life ignoring that type of loss, you know, and think you're going to be okay? It's just not possible.
You're on mute, Cuzzo.
I said that's real. I'm definitely. I know I'm gonna send this. I'm gonna clip that up. I'm definitely sending that to my cousins.
Dude.
I would love for them to hear. I can't wait for them to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, so I appreciate you being vulnerable. That was real, yo. Because I know it's not apparent, but when my aunt passed away and had to go on a flight, it was no time to sit with myself.
Yeah.
It was none. I felt it. I felt it didn't become real to me to the funeral.
Mm.
It didn't become real to me to the funeral until I saw her in the casket and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, this is real. Like, it was game time. After that, it was like, I wasn't, because we've said the story, I won't go on the story, but like, I didn't want to go on the damn plane. We worked so hard to get the can, do all of this shit on this day, and now it's like supposed to be the best day of our professional careers. We're doing something fucking amazing.
And one of the worst days of your life, personal life.
And one of my favorite people fucking passed away.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel selfish for going, and then you got to deal with that, but then you still got to perform.
Yeah.
You still got to perform. Like when the lights come on, I got to have, hey, what's going on? It's more than tight. I'm with my brother, my bread. I got to do all of that shit.
Yeah.
Even when you don't want to. And that's the hardest thing in the world to deal with. I swear.
Yeah.
It's the hardest. A lot of days we come on the same shit. We're dealing with shit we don't want to get on and we don't want to do, but still going through it. It takes a level of strength and courage and perseverance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is. It's tough, right? I think a lot of times too, you know, it's like same way I was talking about my depression, I will show up and be like, hey, I'm grieving right now, so I appreciate some grace. And I take it. It's the first time in my life that all the voices in my head were like, no, you're good. You deserve some grace this time. You know, there was no question in that. And so it takes a lot of bravery, like you said, to get up on a stage and go do that after experiencing a huge loss. Like, you know, aunties are amazing and impact our lives in such a way, right? Loss, no matter who it is huge. And but the world doesn't stop. But I just find a way to I bring it with me. I think Jarrett, when we were at the All Rise Together event and I was doing like a little guided meditation in the beginning, first thing I said was like, I could use a little grace right now. Like I'm feeling like I'm feeling a little overwhelmed today. And this is just like this overwhelming sadness. And you know, when you say that, it just like opens a space in an incredible way, and it allows people to have grace and compassion for you that like they're willing and wanting to give, you know. I've tried to fake the funk so many times, and then I don't show up as my best self. So now I just say it. I'm like, hey, I'm here today, and just know today, like I'm a lot sadder. And then for some reason that like relieves something, and then it allows me to just like continue to go and go be great, you know?
There it is. And you see the comments again. You see the comments, right? That means people are resonating with your message, Reema. And
we have to talk about it.
We have to talk about it. We have to talk about it.
There's so much, it's just so many misconceptions, right? Because like we don't embrace it. And it's like one of the scariest, losing death is like the scariest thing, right? And so people don't talk about it. But I have found so much healing and comfort by talking about it, because everyone's lost something, right? You lost, it could be a pet, it could be a person, it could be whatever it is. We all know what grief is, you know, and we're all going to lose a parent, you know, we're all going to lose a sibling, we're all going to lose a family member that we're deeply impacted by. And like, I would rather grieve together than sit by myself and do it. I'm telling you, that's what heals me. Like having people that I could talk to. There's being able to call my siblings. Like I love, Jarrett, how you said, like, you're going to call your cousin. Like sometimes my siblings, I will in a group chat, and I'll just be like, I really miss Dad today. I just like wish he was here right now. Like every morning when I go to the gym, he was the only person up at 5 a.m. that I could call and say hello to, you know, because he would be up at 4, you know, and I miss that every day. And I could do that by myself, or I can deepen my relationship with my siblings through it. You know, I talk to friends about it. I listen to friends about their loss. So it's just the ways I used to be of like, oh, deal with my feelings by myself. I just can't do it. My grief is too big. And that's the biggest way to cope, is just to be in it, you know?
Message. Love it, Cuzzo. I love it. I love it.
That's right.
I love it. So, you know, Reema, we want to thank you for coming on the show. We want to thank you for being vulnerable. Before we get into the outro, please let the audience know, the listeners, what is the easiest way to get in contact with you? Because I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of people that want to reach out to you and things of that nature. Any organizations that you are involved in and you want to give out information about that so that they can support and get information from, please go ahead and take this time to, you know, disseminate that information to the listeners.
Oh, well, I would say give me some grace if you reach out to me, first and foremost. I appreciate all the grace and compassion. It takes me a while, but LinkedIn's definitely the easiest way to find me. I, you know, believe it or not, I help people like on becoming creatives and having their own, you know, spaces. I don't have my own yet. So I like, find me on LinkedIn. I will definitely get back to you, even if it takes me a week or two. Yeah, I'll just say that. Just find me. If you want to break bread about anything, you know, I'm here, whether it's about your career, whether it's about spirituality, whether it's grief, music, life, anything you want, I'm down. I just love people and connecting. So yeah, just find me.
Yeah, it is. And Cuzzo, you wanna do the honors before I end it off? You wanna do the honors?
Let's do it. So, first of all, welcome to the family, sis. Welcome to the family. This is your episode 242.
Yes.
I mean,
It's a good number.
anybody before or after you that's been on the show, you have direct access to. It's nothing like you see how we do it. The We All Rise, right? Judy was on, Mo was on, you're on, right? They got something. We pulling up. We bringing the camera. We don't care. Whatever we got to do to support. This is what we do. So let us know if there's anybody we talk to you want to connect with. We'll put you on the phone. We'll check your calendar. A meet B, B meet A. That's it. We'll hop off. We don't care how you, whatever happens with y'all, it's through y'all. But this is our way of giving back and saying thank you for your time. So we appreciate you. Please take us up on it.
Oh, I love you guys so much. You're gonna take me up. We gotta go get dinner in the city. That's what it is.
Listen, don't tempt me with a good time. Maybe don't you dare tempt me with a good time.
I'm waiting.
We love food now. Long as lamb chops is on the menu, I'm down. You had me a lamb chops.
Down hummus.
There's this amazing Palestinian restaurant I just went to recently. I'm gonna take you to it. It's really, really good. If you like food.
Let's go. Set a date. Let's do it.
But I'm gonna add to what Cuzzo said. I don't know if you know, but I'm a gym rat. So if you need somebody to call, I know you can't see it through the jacket.
Okay.
You can't see it through the jacket, but I'm in the gym 2 hours a day.
Same.
Let me tell you something. That helped me. That was my everything. And me and Cuzzo talk about this all the time. My coping mechanism, it was my everything. If I don't get to the gym, I don't feel like myself, Reema. If I don't get in that gym and take care of myself, and me and Cuzzo talk about it all the time. Sometimes I'm in there 3 hours. You know why? Because that's my counselor, right? That's my tutor. That's my grief coach. It's everything. I let it all, go in the gym because it's a safe space for me. And I'm glad that you gave the testimony that you gave, because it's creating that safe space to go through your emotions.
Yeah.
And say, it's okay. Yeah, go ahead and cry. Go ahead and grieve. Go ahead and feel sad today, and go ahead and feel melancholy, and it's okay, right? But let's go ahead and productively try to work through it so that we don't get stuck in it. So, if you need somebody to call, or you falling short on the treadmill or something, you need some motivation. Right here.
242 episodes. You never said melancholy.
Well, hold on. Didn't you see the comment in LinkedIn? Growth, Jarrett. Growth. I'm growing.
Developing.
I'm developing. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what nobody says. We are batting 1,000. 1,000. I said the word phenomenal when we started this episode. Did I let you down? Hell no, we did not let you down. Reema came on, and once again, we are so grateful that she was vulnerable. Yes, once again, we want you to see what success looks like from different guests through their lens, but we want you to understand the message, and the message is success is, one, not linear. Number two, even though she didn't have a game plan early on, she had faith within herself, right? Believing in yourself. Self-esteem is esteem in oneself. Starts here, right? But she also had a chance to be built up by her village and supported by her village, right? Once again, this is the importance of the human factor. We got to stop tearing each other down and start building each other up. You understand what I'm saying? And let me tell you something too. I met Reema a bunch of times, but at the last event when I met her, she gives off boss vibes. I'm just telling, I don't know if nobody ever told her that, but when I walked into that Netflix event, I just scanned the room and I was like, Reema's right there. Her aura just gives off, like, not the arrogance, she just gives off boss vibes. I'm not even gonna lie to you, like her stance, and she's just so cool, calm, and collective. And again, but this is 43-year-old Reema. See, this is what we keep talking about, right? Give yourself grace and allow yourself the ability to learn, right? And allow yourself grace to make a mistake, but keep pushing forward. But have a goal, right? Let's prep a goal and let's shoot for something and try to achieve it. Yeah. Living in the moment, right? That's another thing she brought up, right? Let's start celebrating our small victories, not keep moving the goalposts further along where we don't get a chance to live in the moment and say, I did that. I did that, right? So once again, ladies and gentlemen, she told you her story. She told you her struggle. She showed you her support, but she also told you that I'm not afraid to get fired, because if it ain't meant for me, then it ain't meant for me. And I'll go find and do something else, which reiterates how we end off the show every single time. The dream is free, but the hustle Well, that's so separately. And we ain't telling you what's coming on Thursday because we're going to live in the moment because this was a fire-ass phenomenal episode and enjoy it and come back Thursday and see what happens next. It's More Than a Title, your favorite podcast. You know what it is.